So, talking of sounds, you've got your own sound yourself.
I've got some new sounds
You've
coming.
got some sounds, but like with your music, like whether it's with Manoff or with Jelling or less so a Champion Clouds, I guess, because that was more of a proper collab, wasn't it, with someone else. But the Jelling and Manoff stuff has got a sound. And what I like so much about it are the grooves and the bass lines there,
man.
and the repetitiveness
as
well.
Cool.
And like really kind of with the kind of the, I always think of it a bit like an early 90s Manchester drum beat.
You know, a few people have said that, because it's like, you know, when people, I like it when people say your stuff reminds me of this. And over the years, if I could keep a tally of nice things people said, it would be, they do link it to the Manchester thing, but I'm never conscious of it. But it was a big part of my life growing up. Like from when I first proper got into music at like 10, it was all infiltrated with like Stone Roses, Happy Mondays. So it's probably played a background in my head, because them grooves are just,
exactly,
you know, Andrew Weatherall and all that. It's like, yeah.
So what are you working on at the moment then? What's the current project? Because there's always loads going on in your world.
I know,
it's hard to keep up.
Dip my finger in too many pies, don't I? Well, at the minute, at the minute I've got a new Jelling album coming out. So I released one, was it a year ago or two, called Play Guitars Games.
Yeah.
And I did that album mainly to just get my name out there as like, I'm doing this new thing now, following on from the Champion Clouds thing. And so I did that as just, this is what was on my mind at the minute. But the album that's going to be released on the 27th, I'm going to announce it now on your show. So I've got the second Jelling album is going to be called To The Top Every Day, and I'm going to release it on my birthday, June 27th this year. And it's tracks that they're kind of, I've been not working on them for the past 3 years, but since Champion Clouds finished, I had like a bank of tunes that I'd be working on, you know, fresh off the band, and I'd be like still working, but then I'd be maybe distracted helping other people. So this album's like a 3-year kind of project that I've been dipping back into, finishing off, and it's finally tied together.
And when you're working on stuff, when a new track like appears itself to you, do you think, oh, that's a Jelling thing? Or that when you were in Champion Clouds, that's a Champion Clouds thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it like you come up with something and then you kind of almost put it in the right place?
Yeah, definitely. Because when I was doing the Manoff stuff with my uncle before he passed last year, it was like when I might make something in the meantime, and then Mark would come over and listen and be like, I think this is more for this thing you're doing. We need something a bit more instead. But the vibe with the Jelling thing at the minute, it's kind of probably plays into what you're saying with that Manchester beat, the repetitiveness. But I draw a lot of inspiration since the last album from people like Harvey Mandel that you got me into. So it's got this kind of guitar. I'm trying to feel where guitar fits in 2026 and in the modern day. So
your stuff is led by the guitar usually, isn't it? That's feeding like the rhythm to, or giving it almost the bass line as well. It's like on these little noodles that come in and out of the tracks all the way through. Yeah,
because a lot of the time when I'd start a track, it'd be drum and bass. So I'd get the bass line down and the guitar would be secondary, but it would overtake everything. So for this one, it'd be a lot of stuff where I'd start on, you know, I'd force myself to pick an interesting chord. I know it sounds a bit pretentious, but to see where I can go from there.
Okay.
But a lot of the time for the past few years, it's not really been recording, more listening, because I think I'd record things and then think I've got to get this out, where I realised it's okay to record something and just leave it parked a little bit and just live with it a little bit.
So you can be quite prolific, can't you? And then you're quite good at taking a break now.
Sure. And then because after Champion Clouds, I was just like, what am I going to do with stuff? Because I can't do one thing at all. It's not that I get bored, it's just there's more to do. So I just had a bit of a reassessment of stuff and listened back to these Jelling tracks, and I was like, no, I'm proud of this, and I think people will dig this, and there's no shame in saying it, because I was a bit like, oh, you know, that thing of like that artist thing and all this, and after a bit of thought, you know what, if people like it, they do. If they don't, that's also cool. But I'm dead proud of this new one, and I just think I just can't wait for people to hear it.
I can't. I'm grateful you've just announced it on this show.
Just for you, man.
Thank you very much. Now then, are we going to play something off it?
We are. We're going to play the track that's hardest to pronounce.
I'm so glad you're going to do this.
Shall I do it first?
Yeah.
Well, this track's called Hythlodaeus. I even think it's pronounced that. It's called Hythlodaeus. It's out now. There's a music video on YouTube. It's on streaming services, and it's going to be out from my next album called To The Top Every Day next month.
That was Jelling with
me, Asa Hudson.
There we go. And that track is called again
Hythlodaeus.
Oh, well done. That sounded good in here. We cranked the monitors up a bit.
Good bass response on them KRKs, aren't there? Them Rocket 5s.
Beautiful. So you've got a pair as well now.
Yeah, I've got a pair of Rocket, they're 5s. I've got a pair of Rocket 3s that are a bit diddier in my terrace house.
They're deep though, aren't they?
The bass on them is amazing. Sounds good. Dub sounds good on him.
Really good. That was great. So
Thanks,
the album is to follow this year then, 27th of June.
Yep, To the Top Every Day. That's what it's going to be
To
called.
the Top Every Day. How many tracks?
14 at the minute.
14.
There may be more, but there's a bank of... I've probably got about... I'm working on about 60 tracks at the minute, so you might get
like
some
I said,
more.
Prolific.
Yeah, you might get some more. Depends how generous I'm feeling.
Are we going to play a Manoff one in a bit?
We are. We're going to play a Manoff one in a bit, yeah.
So people will hear the similarities, I think.
I think they'll hear it.
Yeah.
I think they'll, with the structure and the arrangements of how to do stuff, they'll hear the,
And the grooves and the layers, very similar, but that obviously has its own like sound with Mark doing the vocals. That's deliberately different, isn't it?
Yeah, because with the gelling stuff, it's just me in my own head until I'm satisfied with something. And then when I would make music as Manoff with Mark, it would be me sat in the room. I would just make the tracks, and he'd either give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. If it was a thumbs up, he'd go past me the mic, and then he'd just do it, because a lot of the Manoff stuff's one take. So the track I'll play later, it's pretty much just, I'd conjured up the track in the day, he came over, one take, and that was it.
Wow, wait, one thing I didn't realise about Manoff, and we'll play some stuff in a bit of
Thanks, man,
because it's great, but I always presumed you did the bass lines.
Well, yes and no. So on most of so we released 5 albums in like a year and a half up until last year, and I'd say 90% of it is me, but the stuff that is about to come out later this year is, so a lot of if you were to listen to the Manoff stuff I do for the last few years, we released 5 albums, but those tracks were not demos, but we'd been recording music since 2006 up until like lockdown time. So a lot of the tracks are reworkings of really kind of grittier recordings, because Mark, before he passed, he was like, he had this idea to flavour up some of the old tracks. You know, he used to do them on old 8 tracks, but as I got better at producing, he could hear me doing stuff with Champion Clouds, and he was like, I want a bit, let's, you know, beef some stuff up a bit. But there will be a release later this year at some point entitled Hardcore Manoff, in relation to like a tribute to the Devo releases, because they used to do these things called Hardcore Devo. So there's about 100 to 150 tracks, all unreleased Manoff stuff, where Mark is more on the bass, because Mark was one of the best bass players ever. You could have put him anywhere, and it not like flashy, like, you know, but if you put him in like a dub group or like a hip hop group or blues, he would hold it down. He could hold the same bass line down for about an hour. It was just awesome. But you'll hear all that later this year. I've just got to get all the tracks together.
I've said this to you before, but I say it to everyone. Like, the bass lines are my favourite thing in tracks.
Yeah,
that's the thing that hooks me. It always is. I like a hook, I like a melody, but a nice groovy bass line.
Yeah,
I love it.
Always
Absolutely love it.
Yeah,
I've started doing a show called Selected Grooves, and the way I go about getting tracks to play on that, it's always, it starts with the bass line.
Yeah,
like, do I like that? Does it make me want to like move almost?
Same here.
And then I work from there.
Yeah, definitely, because it's like, even when I make tracks now, set on the bass, in my head I'm thinking, right, what would JJ Burnell do? Because he's one of my favourite bass players. A lot of my licks I used to learn off JJ Burnell from the Stranglers, and it's like, and even like someone like Paul Ryder, you know, the Happy Mondays, he was just so cool, man. He was just the best. But I think a lot of people, because he weren't in the camera a lot, or weren't, you know, mathy or show off his techniques, I think he just got, maybe like similar to Tina Weymouth. Tina Weymouth, like, you know, Talking Heads, another one that I nick all sorts off her, and their technique is awesome.
It's great.
You know, because there's a lot of innocence in it, because they, you know, they'd say in interviews, someone like Paul or Tina, they don't know the theory side of stuff, which is great, because there's this innocence, and they'll just play notes.
I kind of like, you hear that people talk about guitar as well. Like, I kind of like the ones who just learn guitar because they want to play guitar rather than kind of learning it, you know.
And you can hear it as well. You can hear it. But even in my playing, like when I listen to like the Champion Cloud stuff, that was only 5 years ago. But when I listen to my playing now, I think it's a different person. Weird.
It's crazy.
Yeah.